pressure issue.
About-
So we've dealt with the same thing with Bradley on water, and it was about the same, the infrastructure's not there to.
Well, do y'all know when you come off of Stone Edge and Widener and you make your left onto Highway 11, is that public access there, or does it stop at Stone Edge?
That
Is
goes
the
all the way
pipe
Bradley.
there?
Goes all the way to Lynn Haven Nursing Home.
Yeah, it actually
Sewer
stops at
and
Wheeler
water.
Road. Water line stops at Wheeler Road at Bradley Baptist Church.
So they have the options, those houses in between there have the options
They all
to
have water options,
to
yeah.
be on public water. Okay, so if it does, then that's even less on Oliver Green to come around to Comer that way. That shortens the 4 miles to maybe 2, if that. So, like I said, I don't know. It's like anybody that I've talked to about this, they're just kind of, to be honest, a little bit flip about it. And it's like, I don't know what I do know what prompted me to do it was when she was having those troubles. And I was like, I've been having all these issues too. So I decided to test it. And Gerald Green said you could drill a well right here and you'd have the same radon, or you might have more. He said, there's no guarantee. I have to drill the well to tell you if you have it better or worse. So,
And a prime example is your son is right next door to
yeah,
you.
quarter of a mile.
And it's yours, what'd you say, 47,000, his is 800.
Uh-huh. Now, his is not drinkable. If you read the
Right,
little fine
right.
print,
Yeah.
he's buying bottled water, but they are able to shower and stuff at their house, whereas we have to go somewhere. I have to go to a friend's house and fill up 25 milk jugs so that I can feel good about cooking with it, or I don't even give my dog my water out of my faucets, inside or outside. So it's just, it's just a big concern. So,
But you got your system in now.
I'm sorry?
You did get a system in.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I don't know where I got the money, but I did. Like I said, we really overextended moving up here, but that's another deal. But when he told us 8,500, we just both had to sit down. Like, are you serious? And we still may have to put in a filtration system. We're hoping not, in the air. So they say that it comes from granite. We had it tested for all these other things as well, and so far so good. We were way up on the bacteria end, but that was a simple chlorine flush, and we're good on that. But still can't take a shower at my house.
You're sitting on top of a big rock.
Yeah.
Everybody through there sitting on.
So I just wonder if all those houses, in there. I sent out some letters to my neighbors, and a couple of them have responded that they are going to test as well and see what theirs is. But there's just got to be a better solution than spending $8,500 per household. And I know if we do get public water, that we would have to pay to have that service to hook on, and I'm more than willing to do that, as well as some of the neighbors that I've talked to would too. So. Anyway, so where do I go from here? Do y'all look at what we got, or?
Honestly, we already are, because this is
Okay.
the same conversation we've had with folks from Bradley have reached out to us too, and not having the water out there. Our biggest issue right now is the line that goes out there is not big enough or have enough water pressure to supply more people on it. So we're looking at everything from a raised tank to get water pressure, to pumps, to bigger pipe sizes to go out there. So it is it's a complicated situation, but it's also a very expensive situation, because the bigger issue is once you get out into the sparsely populated areas, it's farther to go for less people. I mean, obviously, it's a better financial decision to go to 100 people in a quarter of a mile. But if you're going to 10 people over a 5-mile area,
Yeah.
it gets harder and harder to reach all 10 people. And we've talked about it honestly in here. How do you, if you can only go this far, how do you reach 5 people and leave 5 people out?
Right.
That's
Right.
it's a bad situation either way we do it.
Right.
But we can't reach those next 5 without the infrastructure to get there, and that's our biggest hurdle right now, is how do we fund something like that, because we don't have the money in general fund, we don't have the money in we're strapped right now from borrowing money to actually get the water pipes in the ground that we're expanding our system now, trying to expand out to all areas of the county. So that is a struggle for us.
Well, like I said, I've only lived here 2 years, so I just am learning my way around. But when you say Bradley, is that a community?
It
or-
is out Highway 11, so.
So if you kept on going past where I'm talking about where I live, keep on going.
Bradley Baptist
Right,
Church.
be more Hungerford Road.
See, I don't know where that is
You
either.
come out of your
yet.
driveway and turn left, go to the stop sign, turn left, hit Highway 11,
Okay,
you're less than a half mile.
It's about a mile and a half, 2 miles from her house
You
to
know where
Highway
that
11.
nursing home is?
I do.
You're in Bradley.
Okay,
That's
okay.
Bradley unincorporated.
So they want water there as well, public water. Is theirs a radon issue? Have they done tests?
It's
Do you
just
know?
not water, not, so some of them wells are drying up, some of them don't have the water pressure, and some of them have, not the best quality water. And
Okay.
that's
A lot of
that's
shallow
big-
wells,
Yeah.
surface water wells in that area.
That's a big issue for Jones County in totality is the granite shelf that we're sitting on in the aquifer. So just like you're talking about, if you drill through the granite to get through the water system, you may go through 3 pockets of radon. You may not go through any of them. So once you bore into them, it's seeping out into your pipe coming up or your hole coming up. That's why you don't know what you're gonna hit when you're drilling.
Yeah, I've talked to some people on Oliver Green that said they drilled their well 200 feet and hit a, what did he call it? Guys? Did he say a geyser? I don't know. I'm not much on wells either. We had city water in Warner Robins, so this is all Greek to me. But after reading this stuff about the cancer issue, I'm just like, oh my gosh. You know, so anyway, I just wanted to present that and ask to be considered at some point or whatever, you know. Is water going to Graham Woods? Are y'all doing, is that happening too?
That system was planned years ago and it never was finished. And this board's been taking on the task to finish a lot of projects that weren't completed.
Yeah,
getting there.
I understand that, and I think everybody ought to have it if you can do it. But from a health standpoint, I mean, like I'm not asking because I just want it or because I just want to water my yard or my garden. I'm asking because I can't take a shower at my house or drink my water. So anyway, just wanted y'all to know.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, we move on to new business. Third Tuesday meeting in December. Ms. Wagner?
For the past few years, y'all have voted not to have that meeting, so I wanted to see if you wanted to continue that or.
That is on the 16th,
19th, I believe.
What we've done in the past is we needed to have a call meeting. We'd have a call meeting.
Yeah. I just remember the January meetings are sometimes almost 9 o'clock leaving because we have so much on the first Monday or first Tuesday January meeting. It's just a tremendous amount of
Right.
items.
What's this board want to do? I see a smile of Commissioner Martin. He's generally the one that starts us off.
You already know.
Well, I got a motion from him.
Well, I would say if we're gonna forego it, then is that the third Tuesday, right?
Third Tuesday in December.
Yeah, so the first Tuesday, can we make sure we got all the agenda items on there so that we don't have a packed one in January?
Yep. Got a motion?
So move.
Second.
Second? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. All right. GFUD resolution. Mr. Resner?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. So the board's aware that we were applying for additional GFA funding for the industrial park force main. We have been approved to receive that funding. It's $4,288,500, and that'll be combined with the $500,000 in One Georgia Equity money that we received and the $800,000 that's remaining from the original loan. Repayment would come from the 2015 SPLOST. There's still $700,000 there for debt service, and then future SPLOST would pick up the payments after that $700,000 runs out. The loan's 2.4% for 20 years, and so you have before you the resolution and the loan agreement.
Keep going.
And I would just recommend approval of the resolution and the loan agreement.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
How'd I do?
You did good.
Get that on the fly. All right. Old business. Mr. Petray, you doing, Tim? All right. Second reading, HPC environmental ordinance. enforcement ordinance, excuse me.
And this is the ordinance that the board considered last month. It'll just be the second reading, providing some HPC enforcement mechanisms.
So when you read it,
No changes since the first reading?
No changes.
And so all we need is 2 readings?
Yes. And it's effective 10 days after the second reading.
Okay. Do we need a motion to approve it?
Yes.
Motion to approve, Chairman.
Second.
second, 3 seconds. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. All right. Fire and Rescue, UTV. Mr. Graham.
I just had a text from somebody, a concerned citizen, that, are we streaming?
Yeah, Will had to take it down, but he just put it back up.
Okay. I didn't know. I knew the lights were on and all that. After a discussion 2 weeks ago, the board wished me to, or asked me to get some quotes on several different UTVs. I sent out 9 different I sent out 9 notices to folks. I've got it listed here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As of 5:30, I checked my email to see if Atlanta Kubota came back or Adrenaline out of Griffin. Didn't hear anything from them. But anyway, this is what I got as of today. All-Star Scooters out of Macon. I didn't know what kind of vehicles they had. They were advertising that they had UTVs. And what I found was a showroom full of aftermarket stuff out there. The biggest thing that they could offer us, it was a 450 a Victory. I'd never heard of it before, but not to say that it wasn't a good item. It could have been. They wanted, it was a belt-driven 4-stroke. It was $8,100 out the door. Ace Hardware, the best vehicle they've got is the 2023 American Landmaster 4-seater. I've got all the specifications and pictures and all that if anybody wants to see these. This one came in at $15,799 out the door.
You know what the CC is on that?
It was 627 cc's. The next one out of Capitol, went to see Mr. Banks. He had just about everything you want on that lot, I tell
How
you.
about Hondas? He didn't have any Hondas?
He had a Honda, but they were right at $40,000. I didn't even look at those.
Ooh-wee.
Those were shaft driven, not the belts. But looked at them, and I'd probably prefer one, but the salesman told me that they weren't having luck with that right now. But I've always been a Honda man. But anyway,
Honda's good.
got a 2024 Polaris 1000 Ranger 4-seater. $22,271.92. Now, this comes with Medlight transport on the back. Now, was base priced out, and he took $4,000 off the top. So there's $6,000 worth of parts on this. When I say that, as for a front windshield, a rear view mirror, a bar light for the top, not emergency light, but a floodlight, LED, and a top to keep the guys and girls out of the rain. What was costly was the transporter here. Will go in the bed, and Capital Cycle has put in several of these. Sadly, this company out of Vermont does not recommend aftermarket vehicles for these to be put into aftermarket vehicles. With applying this to the Polaris is $22,271.92. The next one was through Capital. I've always heard about the mules, and this one's a 2024 Kawasaki Mule 1000. I wanted a 4-passenger, but on the 4-passenger, they do not make this for a 4-seater in the Kawasaki, but the 3-seater it does. So what I got is a price for 3 seats, and it was $25,106.42. And
Don, is that one shaft drive or belt drive on the Kawasaki?
belt driven.
Belt drive, okay.
Belt driven. Everything's belt driven except for that Honda.
And Honda was cheaper than Polaris when I bought mine 7 years ago.
It ain't now. And it was pretty red. It was 34,000.
Really?
They
Yeah.
don't have any shaft drive in the Kawasaki or the Polaris?
It didn't fit our need.
Because those shaft drives that I bought,
I asked about the shafts.
22,000 back then, so.
Um,
6 years ago.
There's plenty $30 and $40 and $50,000 ones out there. I think that we can get by for what we've got here on this paper. Now we looked at state bid too. You had there was 4 or 5. You had Kubota out of. I was really wanting to look at the Kubota diesel. That's a bad boy. Never did get any reply from those guys. But they were only going to do 8%, I think, between 8 and 12% off the top. That's state bid. There was several of them that were knocked off. They weren't doing the state bid anymore. The place out of Griffin, Adrenaline, didn't hear back from them. These guys sold us a Ranger 2 or 3 weeks ago for like $23,000, a 2-man. So I don't know. I didn't hear from them guys. I was thinking that would be promising there.
Did we not check on any John Deere Gators?
It wasn't a state bid.
They're pricey.
Say that again?
It wasn't on state bid that I know of, what it was on the list. If I did, then I missed it, but I sent every one of them that was on state bid a email.
Right. The reason why we ask is All-Star Scooters, I know, isn't on the state bid either. So you
No,
yeah.
neither is Capital either.
Yeah. So, and it just seems like we're looking at the Gators website and they have some pretty decent models and almost half the price of Capital Cycle range. But,
Which ones are those?
The Gator 4-seaters with a utility haulback,
What kind of back?
a utility.
Yeah?
Do they make that unit to go in the back of it like they did for Ranger and
But I didn't see anything about a John Deere with this Vermont company. Honestly, we should not veer from that product right there. I know there's more than a handful of UTVs out there that have got this product on there and it's working very well for when they make a rescue. And the reason why I went with a 4-man, all I could see is, and I think John can relate to this, when it comes to an extrication, especially in the woods, you need more than just 2 hands.
Right.
we had 7.
And it's
I would
still
say you need 6
difficult.
or 8 at least.
It's
a lot of
still
times.
difficult. And what I was worried about, having the most torque, the most engine to get to that patient and get them out of there with as many of a crew that we could. I would love to have a 4-man and then a 2-man. When we're in a search and rescue mode, you got more than just one out there. My recommendation, and I feel strong about it, is go with the lower bid, which is the Polaris 2024 Polaris 1000. It's 964 cc's, 2-stroke or 4-stroke. I'm sorry, 4-stroke at $22,271.92.
Don, was there anything available through government surplus like base online for that?
They were rusted out like
Been used?
I heard that.
They're there.
The ones
They're
that-
there.
But they were all.
Yeah.
Right.
they were-
They've been-
they were-
The goodie's
you know,
gone.
They've had to, and that's where I'm at with that, John. It-
Okay, sure, just a question.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people got those Polaris and they're unreal. My neighbor's got one all four tires are sitting up there waving at you going down the road. It don't stop for nothing.
Right.
Well, when it comes to life and you know, I think I had to have the strongest to go after these folks. And
We got a trailer? Or we
yes,
gotta
sir.
get
I've
that?
got a 12-foot trailer
Okay.
sitting in the yard back.
And you mentioned about storing this at the sheriff's office. They have room for it under a shed?
I don't know, Ray. We can ask. I bet he,
Well, you want to store it there? Let's store it out at Station 5 near the woods with a camera on it.
yeah. I don't know. I was thinking centralized. They don't, whatever y'all decide. But, Mr. Border wanted to.
I'm looking at,
Sourcewell.
yeah. So the only thing I see on Sourcewell is Polaris other than,
Kawasaki.
let's see.
A mule, and you couldn't
Right.
tear that thing up. I had teenagers in it.
I got a mule right there for $25,000.
Yep.
It's a 3-man.
That's why I looked
Simply
at-
because the 4-man, the litter won't fit, or they don't recommend it.
They have Fisher Engineering, Snow X, Western Products, Easy Go, Bobcat, Doosan, Ash, North America, MB Companies, and Monroe. Or the ones under UTVs
Sourcewell.
for Sourcewell, which is all the state contracts nationally. I know I bought Polaris's, the 1000 and the 1200s in the parks. It make it be a
Pretty tough.
yeah. They lasted fine. I'd make sure that, do you know if they've got independent suspension or straight? The problem we had with straight suspension was going off onto the concrete trails, it would wear back was independent and front was solid suspension. It would wear the front tires out. Every year you'd buy new tires for the front of it because they didn't give.
You're right. Yeah, they got that weird look, don't they? I noticed that.
Yeah, the outside of them would be bald in a
The
year's time.
did y'all use those every day though, didn't you? Okay, there's your difference right
Yeah,
there.
we were going on and off concrete, 6-foot wide concrete trail off into the woods because we were going in and removing trees and stuff when they would fall down on the trail.
Yeah, I was even looking at club car, and that kind of stuff. But that's an overgrown golf cart,
That's all it is.
and they're decently priced, and they're quiet and all that stuff. But they didn't have the torque like these guys.
Well, if the Gators won't support the system that we're talking about, that would be the only question I have. I think Gator would be comparable to a Polaris, but if they're not on state contract, which this would be below our bid threshold anyway, but if it's less than 25 and could accommodate them, the Gator would be a good one. But other than that, the Polaris that he's talking about, if you're going cost per cc, that Landmaster's a 627. That's about $25.1 per cc. If my math is right there, long you had to check me on that.
I'm not even on that one right now.
And and the Capital Cycle one is 22.10.
You don't ever think about it like that, but it's yeah.
Because you're not comparing apples to apples. It's 627 versus 1,000.
I only know the utilitarian purpose of the Polaris versus Honda versus Suzuki, right? So when I think about going out into the woods with it for this particular purpose, versus the Kawasaki versus anything else that might be of use, bang for buck, and when I go out on an emergency call and I press the button or turn the key, what's going to work every single time? I know Hondas work. I can go out there and jump on my dirt bike right now and press the button, and it's going to run. And it's an 03 model. everybody that has had Polaris UTVs that I know have had issues with them, so that's my reluctance on it. I'm not a fan of it just because of what I've heard. I don't even know anybody that owns them. They own the Kawasaki's, they own some of the other Hondas especially. So I struggle with that only because of what I've heard.
Yes, sir.
Sam is vouching for it because he uses it in Bibb County. And that's all I get to go by. Again, I'm not a fan. I'd be on the Honda side of it just because I'm comfortable with that brand, and John Deere only because it's kind of what we know what we use, but y'all tell me.
I have a Kubota, and it's heavy. It's a rock. I have gotten it stuck plenty of times. I wouldn't recommend taking it off-road, but more than a trail,
And it's slow.
and it's slow. And
Yeah.
you get on a steep hill, you're gonna hang it up. You know, it's going. But
Yeah.
if you wanna have a hydraulic dump bed and all the features of air conditioning, it's a great machine.
He got on toys.
I know he's
But
got toys.
it's a workhorse for bad
There's
weather.
another one talking right there.
But,
Oh,
Toys.
I mean,
I don't have air conditioning and radio, and
Oh,
I mean, it's a, I mean, there's,
and mine gets used every single day. That's why it's good sign. I got a neighbor's got one twice as old as what I got, and when I say the Polaris is running down the road, all four tires sitting there hung out like like this fitting to go, phoop.
you want something agile that can climb over, whether it be a rock in the road or a log, if you have to cross it at an angle, whatever. You want something that will go and get out there and get to the person.
It was, everybody's got an opinion for real, and
Right.
we do. Think about your barber. You say, I need a new barber or something like that, and you start asking around.
That's what you're gonna do here.
And you
pretty
go,
quick, right?
hey, no, you hear this one cut you to white walls, and then you don't want to go to them. I'm sure there's issues with everything. I looked at them, the $57,000 with the air conditioning and all that stuff and all that, but what's usable for us and what I wanted was a four-man, and the price is there, and it's got the equipment that we need to put somebody in a Stokes basket and bring them out of there and get them some aid.
Obviously, Polaris has
And
stepped
it's
up on that.
immediate delivery.
What y'all wanna do?
I don't have a frame of reference for it other than mine, so if you guys got something, put it out there.
I mean, I was hoping, to me, the only options we have on here are the Mule and Polaris. And I would have liked to have seen a John Deere and a Honda, price-wise, just a 1,000 Honda and a 1,000 Gator or John Deere or something similar to it, even if they came in crazy prices.
I could have brought them in, the Hondas that they've got out there at the Honda place. Right around 30, 37, between $35,000 and $37,000.
Like the cars, what ridiculous.
And that's buck naked.
And it's not on the state,
No, sir, Hondas are not. Not that I know of.
the Polaris is, right?
Polaris was on your,
Was it? Yeah, I think so.
Was it the same price as Capital Cycle or less?
I don't recall. I don't recall, because
This
I
is
put those
with the bed
parts
on
in
it,
there. Sir?
this is with the bed on it.
Yes. The 22-271-70, or the
Is with the rescue.
with the
body
Raider,
on it.
yes, that's what they would order it from Vermont. It'd be here in 3 days, and they'll put it on for us.
Landmaster had it on there too?
No, they
Yeah, the
didn't
Capital
recommend.
Well, you see
They
what I'm
didn't
saying?
recommend
I mean,
Landmaster.
They're already, I hate to ask what that body cost,
What's that?
just the body of the Vermont company.
Yes. What about it?
How much did it cost just on its own?
$3,800.
Yeah. Pretty good from I don't even know who Landmaster is, never heard of.
It's got a.
And that Victory up there, we've had one of those before.
But please, I'm not talking
Oh, no, I'm
nothing
just telling
down.
you,
I'm
you don't
not.
want- you don't
But
want-
those two have got mower motors in them.
Yeah, no, you don't, that's what I'm saying. no.
That's where I'm at with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not seeing John Deere or Honda on Sourcewell. Not on here, so that's.
need to go through the phone to find all this stuff.
So
How about-
can we get the price that we can get it on Sourcewell and see what that price is and then come back to the table with it?
Does it
Have I done something wrong, y'all?
No, you done fine.
Okay, because I don't remember.
No, you're good, you're good, you're good. They just, what's it on Sourcewell? Or does it have the price?
Yeah, I'm not, it doesn't have one on, let's see,
Now, if we can get it for $10,000 cheaper through Sourcewell,
And then put the body on it.
What kind of warranty does it come with, Don?
Um,
I'm looking at the Polaris, the
The
2024
Polaris.
Polaris. What kind of warranty?
I failed to put the warranty on there, John. I'm sorry.
That's okay, Don.
There's a big specification thing there,
Right.
and they offer a extended warranty too. Towing capacity was the big one on that Polaris also. The rest of those we had 1,500 pulling, and this one was 2,500. I failed to copy the rest of the specifications on there. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
That's okay.
I'm letting our two gurus right here go through and see if y'all can find it.
and all pictures and everything else, but no
It's not
prices
giving
on them.
No
their
price.
warranty basics are 6-month factory warranty for unlimited miles. The Ranger comes with a 1-year factory warranty with unlimited miles.
That's about
Warranty
right,
covers
yeah.
components of your vehicle against defects in material or workmanship, and it covers parts and labor charges for repair or replacement of defective parts. Begins on the day of purchase.
So they do have, on Sourcewell, they do have a fire and rescue, Polaris vehicle, fire and rescue equipment, complete line fire and rescue equipment for side by side, so it does come equipped with a lot of, and on here you can just, you know, either get a quote or build one out. So they basically give this 22,271 with, standard diamond plates, the mirror, the top, the windshield, the bar, which is, yeah, the top, the bar, bed.
I mean, I can visualize other things that possibly would need to be added to it, such as a winch that can be switched from the front to the back. But if you get it hung up, you're going to want to get yourself unhung very quickly. If not, that becomes, useless.
We got a few winches at the office here.
Yeah, it just says get a quote. Yep. I'd have to email it and get a quote on it to come off this one, but that's just for the Polaris. You'd have to do the same thing on.
Something y'all wanna come back to the next meeting, just check the option.
Yeah, I think if we can get it off short, because I mean, this is Capital Cycle's price. If we can buy it off Sourcewell, they may have they're not gonna have Donnie's markup on Capital's, from here. But then again, we look at the Sourcewell price, he may match it.
I don't know. He came off $4,000 off the top
Yeah.
on each one of those. I know we've been without it for this long. I want to know what I've done wrong.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
because
you
we-
ain't
we-
done nothing wrong. I told you you ain't done wrong.
I know, but
It's the people's money, we got to make
I
sure we're smart
understand
with it.
that.
You did perfectly what we asked you to do.
Did you know, I mean, I know you know the state, I know you know Sourcewell.
no, I've never looked
Really?
up anything on Sourcewell. I got a list of the state bid. Does that come off?
Sometimes they'll do same pricing through both. Sometimes it's a little different from one to the other. It just kind of depends. So, I mean, the way so you've got the state contract that goes through the state procurement department, and then Sourcewell kind of takes contracts from around the country. They'll go to big jurisdictions like
I got you.
city of Houston or
Yeah.
Los Angeles or Atlanta or something like that, and they'll go through a bid process, provide pricing, and then Sourcewell kind of goes to that manufacturer and says, hey, will you extend that pricing to any other jurisdiction?
I understand.
And so sometimes you can find good pricing through those.
I've heard you guys talk about that, about Sourcewell, but I never have really.
Can we get him and Julie together? She knows about Sourcewell, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Because that's, matter of fact, that's just reaching out to them and saying, hey, here's what we're looking for, what does it cost? Because it's not a negotiation, here's what the price is, and if you buy it off that contract through Capital Cycle, they have to honor that price.
I got you.
Or
And
you,
you can kind of build whatever it is you need added to it, or
and
take
it may
off.
get you some more of the stuff you need on there.
This is what we need right there. Just a basic basic support where we can extricate and get out.
And I have, honestly, I have seen where state contract is higher. I mean, they come in lower than a state contract. I've seen that. So, but, yeah, I think just to make sure we're getting the best bang for the buck,
Okay.
I would ask them on the Polaris.
How about this?
And
on-
I'm gonna ask 'em
just
on
the
everything.
note?
Yeah.
I have the we'll get a motion to postpone to the next meeting.
Oh, hold on, Chairman, I'm just gonna ask
Oh,
this.
okay, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry,
under
I'm sorry.
25,000, so he actually has the ability to
Right.
authorize it himself. As long as it's at or below this number, let him buy it.
Yeah.
Is that what you wanna do?
That's what I'm getting at.
Okay, all right, I'm sorry, I was trying to read your mind.
We have to read my mind.
I'm losing here, that's why I can't do it.
Yeah. Oh,
But that don't, the vote for us would be to purchase a vehicle. If it's below the bid threshold, then that's something
yeah.
Jason can, and them can get a PO for,
All
right?
right.
And
sorry.
if this comes in cheaper than Sourcewell, guess what? It's gonna be delivered next week. If not, we got another option, but basically, we need to give Don and Jason
Yeah.
a motion to let's get this happening at the best price for the citizen.
What you thinking, John? Got that?
You know, I'm good with the Polaris, I'm good with, Kawasaki. And I know it's needed, it's middle of hunting season, we got hunters in the woods.
Chairman, make a
So-
motion to authorize Jason and Don to purchase the 2024 Polaris with the setup needed for emergency response pending verification of Sourcewell contract pricing.
Second.
Second, 2 seconds. Any more discussion? Huh? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay.
I don't feel like I did so bad now. Thanks, I appreciate it.
You did good. Yeah, you did, just like we asked you. And then we
I had to do
closed
some
your
wrestling
curve.
for this thing.
Huh?
Y'all want to know why I hadn't brought this before?
Well,
I
it's-
knew it was going to be a wrestling match.
It's not a wrestling, literally. If we have all the information, it's real simple.
I know it.
And Sourcewell is one of those spaces, and you didn't know that, so.
Yeah, I really didn't.
Yeah,
I've heard
it's
y'all
okay.
talk about it, but I just thought it was like
You
a
did
co-op or
Like you and
something.
John have on these rescues, like I experienced, and I'm going, I can see right now, why, when you have two of your volunteers say, we really need this, and then it was the next week I'm doing it.
Yeah, they had bellies on them, didn't they?
Oh, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
well, my belly was dragging
I-
too, I
I-
don't mind telling
not
7 of them
against
went
them,
in there and
'cause
got that guy,
I'm
and he
telling
walked
you.
out.
The guys, they've got big hearts and they go after it. That's-
All right, thank you, Don.
Yes, sir.
All right, department heads.
Thank y'all.
You
You got anything on department head?
Sourcewell.
ISO was here last week, or 2 weeks ago. There's no way of knowing. Lady is to the point, and she shook us down, and I know that we improved. There's no doubt. She told me that 8 points would be like pulling. That's what we needed to get down to a 4, and 8 points is very strong if we can go down 8 points. We went down and we did very good in a lot of things. A lot better than we did before. So I'm very anxious and I'm happy and I'm proud of our folks, no matter what comes in. We're strong. We're still strong, and they were here and now they're gone. So it's in their hands now.
Time frame on answers?
She told me possibly in the spring, but the last time we did this was during the same time. It's been exactly 5 years to the month. And we got our 2018 was February 2019. So I think what she did was gave us the longevity, the latest it would be here. I'd look for it in February, to be honest, because she's sharp. She's sharp as a razor.
Can you send us that? When you came before some time back, you had that worksheet that showed where we were short and the opportunity to grow. Can you provide us with what you've done to show the growth in those areas? So at least we kind of have a mindset of where that might be.
You've gotten that. You've gotten rid of it.
I don't know if you got a new one. I'm just
Oh,
asking.
okay. I'll get it to you. I've got it.
Okay, because I wasn't sure
Yeah.
if you updated. 'Cause I try to keep that one in my book. That's near and dear.
But the points, I don't know what they'll give us in points as far as,
Well, you will know what work you've done.
Oh,
to get
yes,
close
definitely.
To that's the part that I'm asking.
yeah, stuff that we
And then-
really,
Then when we
really,
get the points, we can lay them side by side and say, look, we came up 5 points, we come up 3 points.
Correct.
We thought we'd get 5, but we only got 3, and we can't tell them how to gauge it. But
right,
We'll know what we've done to get there and know what we can work on harder next time. So,
yeah.
I keep this in my book.
That's
That's it.
That's a good one right there now.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I've got mine somewhere in mine here.
I knew you had it.
Chairman, I will, or Don, I will say, I don't know whether it makes a difference or if it's even on the criteria grading or whatever, but I've noticed the fire hydrants, some getting painted, some getting cleared out around them, that kind of stuff. I don't know if that matters on the list of things, but it's noticeable. People are seeing it, and I
Yeah.
think it's because it's wintertime, grass is cut, but also clearing out and painting them. So whoever's doing that is that's good.
It's a group effort.
Have to thank
the-
Brandon also.
Yes,
Yes.
that's what I'm saying. It's a group effort. It's not just the fire department. There's a lot of Brandon in there too, because he's serious about it too.
Right.
I wish you could have seen the paperwork that he presented to ISO. I had to bring in the department head for water, department head for 911, and this and that. And
Well, I think there's GPS and all the.
absolutely, yes,
everything's all right.
100%. Yeah.
That's good.
Oh yeah. Which
had-
we didn't have before.
Amen.
So see, there's the tweak. You know, that's just good stuff.
Did we make any progress on the emergency dispatch portion? Because I know we talked about
Yes.
identifying.
Yes.
With the CAD
First of all, it was the CAD kind of took care of that right there, right off. The circuits, the policies in emergency dispatching,
Yep.
and
And personnel, because we talked about hiring somebody that could help us with that.
we did talk about that, but that's a budgetary deal right there. Is
Budget
we've
just
got
passed.
we've got somebody with the actually I think that it when I took over 15 years ago when I sat down with 911, the fire department had put in enough money for at least one dispatcher around the clock for just the fire side of it. And as far as I know, that's the way it stands today, that there's one person on there, and then you've got 2 other call takers. They're with the sheriff and dispatching this and that.
Gotcha.
But a lot of things have changed since the CAD. It's all for the good. It's very good. It's top of the line.
Yeah, I know there was discussion about that person being skilled enough to differentiate and triage the calls. That's why I asked that particular
Well,
question.
There's
If they're getting trained in the emergency dispatch, and it's all for, I mean, it's safety, fire, EMS. all of
they
it.
go to dispatching school, is what they do.
We good? Thank you. Have a great
Thank y'all.
Thanksgiving.
You're welcome.
I feel like an old goat up here.
No, you don't.
I like
Thank
it.
y'all. I appreciate it.
Now, he's the one old today.
Jerry, you gonna do public works tonight? Nope. Just gonna ask.
Enjoying the new ride.
All
I
right.
ain't got all the bugs out of me yet. Very good.
Jason,
I don't have
citizen comments, anyone tonight wanna come forward? Any citizen?
You didn't ask Shannon.
Shannon? She's ready to go.
I don't have anything.
Ladies first,
Put that bar there.
nothing? Commissioner Martin?
He addressed ISO, Force Man. I did have a question. Do we have a plan in terms of how fast it's gonna start, for the industrial park?
Yes, so, we actually have to specify all that in our contract documents, but the bid documents are ready to go. You know, this is the one we've bid out a couple times previously, and so all that's there and ready to go. Actually, the project schedule that's laid out in this document, everything's been submitted to EPD. The bid opening we have for December 2023, that may happen in January. There may be a 1 month delay on that, but notice to proceed would be in February, and then completion of construction would be January 2025.
Gotcha, all right. And then road assessment, we got any update on that? Because I know we still got some issues, and we want to see where the roads are coming in so we can start on that process.
So we've gotten preliminary data back from First Step. Tim and Sean and I are going to meet next week to go through that, and there's some refining we have to do there, and we'll have that ready for the first meeting in December. And so, there's Tim.
You got it right.
Okay. Which, that'll be perfect timing for us, so our LMIG submission is due by February 1, and so you'll have all that data to look at the 2 meetings in January to decide on the LMIG roads.
Great, and with that being said, based on the preliminary information that you got, obviously, there's probably gonna be a lot more roads on it that need repair than we thought. Should we start having a conversation potentially about a T-Splosh to fund the road repairs?
You taking my darn conversation.
It's today, happy
You're
birthday.
thinking.
I'm just making sure, okay, all right, good, as long great minds alike. So, that answers that question. And then lastly, I'm gonna say we had a little win today in code enforcement, for those of you that have been following. The spray painting guru, off of Bethune, he got a fine and he got a cease and desist, but it took a really long time. Talked with Ashley about putting some teeth in that particular ordinance, so he doesn't, or whomever doesn't just get to continue doing these egregious acts when they are caught by Russ. So I want to figure out how we put more teeth in it and stop him. He got a $600 fine. This weekend, he spray painted 5 cars. You know, slap on the wrist. But I want to have us start having that conversation so we can stop people when it's happening, right? And then do the necessary steps. Because now if he does it, he's on probation, he can go to jail. It took a year and some change. And I can imagine if I lived next door to him, I don't know that I could have tolerated it that long. But doing right by our citizens is critical, and again, that's just one of those components. So want to put that on the agenda or create a work session so we can start dialoguing about that, because he's not the only nuisance in the county.
It might be good on that, Commissioner, if maybe me and you and Ashley and Tiffany and maybe Judge Patterson. Ashley, can you hear me? Ashley's with us on
Okay.
Zoom, but maybe we can get together as a small group and kind of talk through that.
Sounds good.
And then bring some recommendations back to the board.
Sound like you're in a cup.
I think it's coming out of that.
Hold on.
I can hear on one of these monitors.
You're in the TV.
Someone shrunk Ashley.
This is your conscience speaking. Don't tell us that. That's not good.
All right, speak up.
I have spoken with court personnel and with our prosecutor about scheduling a sit-down. The judge could be involved in some of the discussions, such as fines, some he cannot be, but the rest of figure out what changes we can make to have teeth earlier in the process. So I am working on that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else, Commissioner Martin?
I'm good.
Hey, Jason, you got a check behind you. Tell us what it is. It was sent to us by the original commissioner. What did we get this time?
So this is, the $400,000 check for the CHIP grant that we received from Georgia Department of Community Affairs. So,
She wants to see it.
Chief, you're good. I was told to deliver it. Don't run
Beat
off
us
my-
as long as I got the little one, I'm all right.
Don't run off my keys.
right.
All right. John?
All right. Dayline touched on a lot of good points between ISO. We have a lot of water needs in this county, and we're going to find out we have a lot of road needs also. It's going to be a good budgetary discussion on where we and how we plan for future on that. Keep it short. Hope everybody has a good Thanksgiving and keep it safe.
Amen.
Kitchen?
All I can say is it's that Thanksgiving season, so much to be thankful for, our community, our board. We have issues, every community does, and some of the folks in this room know what some of them are. We would love to have water and sewer and high-speed internet and everything that makes life comfortable and even not just comfort, but needs and necessities. And I'm happy and thankful that this board recognizes it and tries to get there. There's no easy, quick fix, but we have been working on it since we've been on this board, and I'm thankful for that, and I'm thankful for everything we have. Good Lord's good to us. So I hope everyone has a happy Thanksgiving. Spend time with your family.
Amen.
Happy Thanksgiving. All right, with that being said, I think that's the end of, I need a motion to go into executive session for.
So
Make a
moved.
motion and adjourn to go into executive session for
Second.
personnel.
Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank everybody for coming.